Hi guys, just a little makeup tutorial here. I'm doing this on a model instead of myself. I will eventually do one on myself again. It was just to show you nice and quick, just when I had a client in on Saturday. So the first thing I do is just take the Peel Louise base and I just prime the lid. I do this before I do the eyebrows because I like to get rid of all the little stray hairs. That way I know exactly how I'm mapping it out. So I'll just pat that on. This is so pigmented. I'll just do the same on the other eye. This always makes my eyeshadows pop. I use this for every one of my clients and it's the best thing ever. If you have not used the Peel Louise base, you have to get it for really good pigmentation for your eyeshadow. So now I'm just taking a really small fluffy brush just to just to blend out the edges. I don't like it looking harsh at all. And then I then take a really small fluffy brush and Matt give me some bronzer, and I'll add that to the crease. This is just going to be my transition shade. I'm just going for a really light brown kind of eye with some glitter, so it's nothing too dramatic. As last time I done really bright colours, so this time I was looking to go for something that of course is a little bit more neutral and something you can wear kind of everyday kind of glam. Well, of course this might not be for everyone's everyday, but just a kind of brown look so I could show you something different. And of course I'll still keep doing my bright looks, but I'll also throw in some brown looks from time to time because I still love doing them. Once I've done that, I'll just take a really fluffy brush and then with no colour on it, no pigment at all, I'll just fluff out the edges, blend out the edges again, just like as you can see just now, and that just really blends it out. So I'm not taking any more eyeshadow, I'm just going in and really softening that just so it doesn't look so harsh, and then I'll just do the same on the other eye. I'm now just going in with a slightly darker brown, and that would be the shade Rowdy from the Stacey Marie Carnival palette. I love that shade, it's such a dark brown, so I'm just adding that to kind of deepen the crease. So I'm taking a really small defined Morphe brush. I wouldn't even be able to tell you the number, I do apologise, but a really small Morphe brush, and I'm just going right into the crease with that, just to deepen it up so there's some definition in her eye. I don't, of course, want to have it like a big brown smoky eye, just adding a little bit of darker brown. You can use any other dark brown, it doesn't have to be that one. Then taking a flat brush and just adding some concealer to the lid. This is just so when I put my pigment on top, it's going to pop. And then I'll take a kind of fluffier brush and I'll just kind of fluff it out and blend it out so it's, again, not as harsh. Once I've done that, I'll go in with the same brush and a tiny bit of eyeshadow that was used for the dark brown, and I'll just go over the edges just to kind of blend that concealer again so it doesn't look harsh at all. And then taking a flat brush and taking the Gatsby pigment from Peaches and Cream and just applying it over that concealer. This just gives the look so much definition. I love these pigments. They're so nice. They're not like glitters where you have to put any glitter glue down, or they don't look chunky. Like, they're just so nice. They just look like a really, really shimmery eyeshadow, but yet a glitter at the same time. It is so beautiful. So I just added that, and then I'll go ahead and add some eyeliner. For eyeliner, I'm just using the Maybelline black gel liner. I kind of prefer using a gel liner, as I feel like when the client opens their eyes, it doesn't go everywhere, as it just kind of already goes matte. It's not sticky, it's not hard to work with. So I'm just taking a small angled brush and doing that. If I'm going for a winged liner or a thick liner, I'll never use a gel liner because it's just so much work. But over a pigment as well, gel liner is always the best because it goes really black. So I'll just do the same on the other eye. And then once I've done that, I'll take a black eyeshadow from the Violet Voss Holy Grail palette. I'm not sure what that's called, but I know that it's a black eyeshadow. Again, you can take any black eyeshadow for that. And it's just to go over it, just to make sure it's really black and really stands out. I'm not doing a really thick line because it's just so the lashes that I put on blend in with it. And it doesn't look crazy. And you can't see a gap between her and her lashes if anything goes in between. So I'll just do the client's eyeliner and add a black eyeshadow so everything's seamless. I'm then just going to take a spoolie, just to get these off eBay. I've got loads, and I just use them to put mascara on her top lashes. Never ever use a mascara one from a mascara tube. It is so unhygienic. You can get styes, you can get anything. So use your little mascara wand. And then I just stuck lashes on. These are just lashes from eBay. They're amazing. But I just put the mascara on just to make the lashes blend, and then just popped them on because it was taking too long to do it on camera. And then I take the Anastasia Dip Brow and I'm just filling in her brow. So I always underline the brow first. I always like to extend it so I bring it quite far down and quite far in, if that makes sense. So I've just filled in her brows, and again I just done that quickly and then skipped. So I'm using the Wet n Wild foundation now with just a flat brush, just to put it all over her face. This one was way too light, so I've got this one, and then I just mix my medium shade and put that into her skin as well, just to make it the right shade. So I just do that. This Wet n Wild foundation, I spoke about it in my last video. I love it. The coverage is unreal. I use it on all my clients, majority of my clients, just depending on what kind of skin type they've got, what kind of coverage they're going for. But this is such a nice coverage. And then just taking my Real Technique sponge, please ignore the state of it. It is clean, but it's so stained. So I just use that to blend out all the foundation, just to make it really seamless. I just make sure I'm bringing the product down the neck as well, just to get that all blended and looking seamless. I hate a harsh foundation line, so I like to make sure it's all blended down and everything again just looks super seamless. So I'll just keep going over the face until I feel happy with it and feel confident enough that it's flawless. I'm then just going to take the Barry concealer. This is in the shade 3 Cookie, and this is such a good concealer. It's my new favourite drugstore concealer. Apart from the Revolution, I really like that one as well, but I feel like I use that too often, so I decided to use this one. And then just taking a small brush, a little fluffy brush, just to go underneath the eye and blend that out. This is a lot easier to do than a big brush or than a beauty blender or a makeup sponge, because you can get right in there. So I just go right under, because it just lets me get right in underneath the eye, so there's no creases, it's all seamless. So I'll then take a brush, and I'm using the Revolution foundation stick just to use this as contour. This is shade F13. And I will just use this with a brush to apply it, as again it's really unsanitary to just put it on her face. With the same brush I'll just blend it out, so I'm not fully blending it out. I like to use, sorry, this is actually a different brush. I like to use a brush first of all to blend it out, because it keeps the product in place, whereas if I go straight in with a sponge, it kind of smudges it about and makes it just blend in with foundation. So I do it with a brush to make sure it's blended in place, and then I'll just use the sponge to blend the edges of that, and then I'll just go down the whole face again until it's seamless and I'm happy with it. I'm now just taking this other sponge. So this is a beauty blender that I actually got from Primark, and it is unreal. So when you wet it, it's so big and it's actually quite soft. So I'm just taking the Revolution highlight drops and putting it on her cheekbones. I just don't like using this sponge for the foundation, because although it's soft, I feel like it makes noise when you put it on their face, if that makes sense. So I feel like it's just not as good. But for adding highlight and things like that, because it's not got foundation or product that I've been using before, I love using it for things like that. It just blends it in so nice. So once I've done that, I'm just going to take the RCMA no colour powder, and I'm just putting that underneath her eyes. This just sets it, and I'll just take it in little places where I feel she needs it. But I don't like to take too much of this, because I just don't like the face looking cakey and dry. She doesn't have oily skin either, so there's no need for me to use loads. I'm then just going to take the MAC Give Me Some bronzer, and I'm just putting this on her face. This looks really dark on camera. It was definitely not this dark in person. I do have a photo on my Instagram of how this finished look turned out, so please ignore how dark this does look on camera. I promise it was not this dark. So this is just a brush I got from Savers. I love this brush for bronzer. It is amazing. It's so big and fluffy. And then I'll just take a kind of smaller brush, and I'll not fully contour the nose. I'll just make sure there's a bit of bronzer on it so it looks nice. And then I'm just taking the Doll Beauty bronzer and just really deepening the contour, just to make it a bit more jaw-like and more structured, rather than a bronzer just going all over the face. I'm then just taking the same beauty blender I used it the first time, and I'm just really sharpening up the edge of the bronzer, just because I don't like the bronzer being too far down, and it sometimes when foundation can go a bit funny at those areas for some reason, so when I put powder on it, it just makes it look really, really flawless. And then taking a really small Morphe brush and just going in with the dark brown rowdy shade that I used, and just going underneath the lash line, just so, although this is just a brown kind of natural glam eye, I don't want to make it bare underneath because I feel like it just makes it look silly, so I do still add something. And then I'll take a different spoolie and I'll just do her bottom lashes. Not only are these spoolies more hygienic, but it's so much easier to do mascara because you're not holding a big mascara one. They're so small and easy to get into. And then just taking that Real Technique brush, contour brush again, and just going around the bronzer to make sure everything's blended. And then I'm going in with a lip liner from... I actually went in with one from B Cosmetics first of all, but I didn't actually like that one. So I went in with one from LA Girl, and this one's called... It's either called Spice or Strip Down, but I know that the MAC do colours like that, but it was definitely a colour that was the same colour as MAC as LA Girl. You need to go check that out on Beauty Bay. So I'm just lining her lips, and I take my time to do this because I feel like this is one of the most important parts. So if someone has a big line around their lips, or if their lips are looking a bit out of place because you've rushed them, it can make the whole look so stupid. So I'm then just going in with a lipstick. This is just the MAC Velvet Teddy lipstick. I did use a brush to put this on first of all, but it was taking me forever to get it on. So I did just take the lipstick and put it on her lips, and then once I took it off, I sanitised it, just because it was taking too long to go on with the brush that I was using, because the brush that I normally use for it, I couldn't find. So I'm then just going in with the lip gloss, the Ellie Kelly lip gloss. It's the Boo kind of kit, so I just used that, and again I sanitised that gloss before I stuck it back in. And then I'm just going with the Doll Beauty highlighter and then just setting the face. Okay, so of course this bit is frozen, but thank you guys for so much for watching. I hope you did enjoy the video, and if you have more you'd like to see like this, please do let me know.